All right. You're now tuned in to Dirty Laundry Media. Smash that like, subscribe if you haven't already. So I want to get into this discussion. Nina Turner, ex-Ohio State Senator. I'm having a pretty candid, off-the-cuff discussion, I would say, about the current state of Black politics as it relates to our positioning within the Democratic Party. And she dropped a few jewels. So before we dive into this discussion, I want to set the stage with this clip, again featuring a conversation between Nina Turner and Batya Ungar-Sargon. In this exchange, Turner addresses a critical issue that resonates deeply within our community, and that's how the Democratic Party relates to Black voters, particularly Black men and women. She touches on the party's tendency to elevate Black women as symbols of electoral success while simultaneously failing to implement the policies necessary to uplift the community as a whole. So as you watch this, I want you to pay close attention of how Turner critiques the party's use of identity politics and understand the broader implications this has for our political power or lack thereof. This is a conversation about more than just representation. It's about whether that representation translates into real and tangible benefits for our people. Let's listen in.
Your read on why so many Black men, Hispanic voters have found in Trump something to admire, something even to vote for?
Well, Madam Editor, I'm glad you asked me that question. For me, the Democratic Party emasculates Black men. Wow. And I think Hispanic men probably feel the same way. And I say this because they weaponize identity. When and where we enter, who we are, how we identify is important to who we are, just like our fingerprints. But if you're not going to use my identity to advance a social justice cause, and you're just going to use my identity as a blunt force object, now I got a problem. And so what the Democratic Party does, they put Black women on a pedestal and they say, we're the mothers of the movement, or we saved the party. But yet you don't put forth policies that save Black babies. You don't put forth policies that deal with the maternal death rate of Black women and Black babies in the United States of America. You don't do those things that lift and edify. Yes, identity is important. Both parties use it differently. Republicans use it to say that everybody Black or brown or of a mixed race is somehow kind of way a DEI hire. They use it to say certain books will be banned. Don't tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about how this country was formulated, because you might hurt a white child's feelings by saying that, yeah, chattel slavery existed. And oh, by the way, white powerful folks stole the land from the indigenous people. So all of those things, Chinese Exclusion Act, I mean, we can go down the list. But Democrats use it in a way that alienates other folks, and it offends me. So when I talk to Black men across this country, they don't see themselves in this party. It's one thing to recognize the power and prowess of Black women and the sacrifices that we make. It is another thing to put us above Black men. The Black struggle, Black men and Black women have to be together. We don't have the luxury to be separated. And so I resent the Democratic Party for doing that. And so Black men do not see themselves in the party. That bravado, because we got a kind of masculine energy, and masculine energy is not all bad, but the type of bravado that Trump puts forward is still very much rooted in a hierarchical patriarchy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of men.
So there you have it. In my opinion, Nina Turner raised an excellent critique of the Democratic Party's relationship with the Black community, and especially with Black women. I mean, the party's symbolic elevation of Black women as the mothers of the movement and saviors, particularly during election cycles, never equates to corresponding commitment to policies, substantive policies that address all of the pressing issues within the Black community as a whole, not just as it relates to Black women. We need a little more than just Black girl magic. like I said, and hear me out. I know this, this critique definitely opens the door to an uncomfortable, but in my opinion, very necessary question. And that's if Black women have indeed established within the Democratic Party a base of support and leverage, why aren't they using that influence to demand and secure policies that would genuinely uplift the community? What are we talking about? I mean, when it comes to political power, the reality is that without the willingness or ability to wield it effectively, it's just symbolic. It's just window dressing. And for Black women, being placed on a pedestal, it doesn't mean anything if it isn't accompanied by the power to enact change. You have to actually have agency in that position on that pedestal, or it's just symbolic. If Black women are in positions where they can exert influence, but they're not pushing for policies that address issues like the racial wealth gap, maternal mortality, mass incarceration, educational disparities, then their presence in those roles is, guess what? It's just tokenism. It's meaningless. And who does tokenism serve? It doesn't serve the people. It serves those in power. So, I agree with Nina's premise. I think she could have took it a little further, but hey, that's what I'm here for. And again, the argument is not to diminish the significance of Black women in the Democratic Party, but more so to challenge the assumption that their symbolic power, their symbolic position translates into real power, because it obviously does not. And if the party only invokes Black women's identities to rally votes, but turn around and fail to deliver on substantive policy changes, then that amounts to exploitation of these women as tools. So they're not really, truly agents of change. So again, this is not to dump on Black women at all, but if we're in the room and we're the backbone, then it only makes sense that, some policy gets delivered. And if we got Black women that's in the power, that's in position, and they're in the party and they're in the room, and they're not making necessary demands, we need more than political placeholders. Period, point blank. And I know Barack Obama said,
democracy was never meant to be transactional. You give me your vote, I make everything better.
You give me your vote, I give you. Yes, it is. Political support is not unconditional. Never has been, never will be.
How do you want Joe Biden to pay you back?
I'm sorry?
How do you want Joe Biden to pay you back?
Pay me back? I don't want anything out of this. All I want is a country that my children and grandchildren can be able to develop in and be able to pursue their dreams and aspirations. I've been around. I'm full scores. I'm beyond the promise.
Bing, pow, boom, you son of
Has to be tied to accountability and to results, tangible results, measurable results. So if Black women are going to be celebrated as the backbone of the Democratic Party, then guess what? They must also be held accountable for ensuring that the party delivers on its promises to the Black community. So that means just not accepting the praise, but actively using their platform to push for policies that their communities desperately need. So I just want to say, we need more than for you to be the backbone of the Democratic Party. We need for you to be the backbone of the Black community. Smash that like and subscribe.